Anyway, I had an all-female council basically back in the day. If you go back in time, you'll notice that LS had an all-female council. I trusted females best because men had been showing themselves as to be rapists. Like I say, what they would do is they would post an ad in the paper, and they would ask women to go work for them, and then the women would show up as for like dictation or whatever, and then about 30 men would gather around and then rip her clothes off and rape her. There was this guy running around calling himself Rapier. He was Sir Rapier, and he was basically just some guy that basically led his pack of other rapists. Probably John McCain and Richard Nixon, all that other stuff. JFK thought I was just a joke anyway because I had my all-female council, and I had my Germans, and I had my Irish, and my Chinese council, and basically him and the zombie ways when zombie people, black people, just thought that everything LS or Lucifer was a joke. Anyway, and they called the Columbia council or whatever, or my council basically, which was all female, basically camel toe. The camel toe round table, camel toe table, or something like that. Basically meant women or whatever. I don't understand what the camel toe has to do with women's vaginas, but anyway, I don't know. Anyway, back then there was like no respect, no regard. There was like general no regard and everything else like that. Because they didn't care about anything. There was like open fire, kill them all, and then rape the women. And that was basically JFK, John McCain, Richard Nixon, and pretty much some zombie waving, some black people in Africa and around there. Anyway, several councils were called as far as what to do about them, as well as me. And the black people trying to make me look bad, or trying to make the white race look bad, and it's like, we're not. Germans aren't bad. They're actually the most loving, caring people ever, and even Irish would say that, because the Germans would come in and they would teach them metallurgy and all kinds of other stuff. The Germans, like the Irish, would say that, well, Germany taught us everything. Their specialists came in. My specialist went to Ireland to help them with the metallurgy, to make sure that, because I needed all the metallurgies to match up when I was building the Titanic, which meant because the Titanic plates were actually built in several parts around the world. We didn't actually have a fabrication facility big enough to actually do all that. I had a bunch of smaller ones, so I was building all these plates around the world. So the first Titanic ship, which was like 300 feet long or something like that, had all these big 40-foot high by 40-foot wide plates built that were then hammered together in Belfast, the Belfast shipyard, which meant all these plates had to come. So they were coming from all over the world, from all my different places. So, and then they would be sealed with tar and everything else. So it was quite a big undertaking. So the Germans were who were also in Panama and other places, were actually going around making sure that everybody's metallurgy was up to the right amount, up to the right way that the metal was being forged. So it was actually a really big undertaking that was going on in the LS shipyard and LC shipyard, which was Belfast, my newest and biggest shipyard. So anyway, which had been my old Belfast quarry. It had been a quarry long ago, so I owned land already, and then I was just building a ship there because the water had finally gotten high enough that it's like, well, let's build a ship. And actually, I'd had to defend Belfast a couple times with battleships when other people attacked me with their wooden ships or whatever. And like I say, they had been trying to get to take down Belfast for about 100 years or 200 years. When the water finally got up high enough, they were finally able to raid my German Belfast people. But before then, we were always at a height advantage, and basically had been a long-standing tower and other stuff.